Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another wonderful episode of the Never Games. This is a very special one. We've got Willow Payne, the artist of library comic and co-host of the podcast Bookstabber, is going to be joining us in the second half. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're a fan, like, subscribe, and rate. It makes a huge difference to us. But on today's episode, Connor is like rain on your wedding day. Trevor crowdsources some new game ideas. And Tom has a strange dream that reveals how to open his Book of Tomes. This is Season 2, Episode 9, Sir Never Games of Boca, Raton, Scotland.
No, not like that.
Come on, Noel.
Tom, what?
God, you're
Me?
disgusting, Noel.
They sell things to screw at Home Depot. It's not...
Oh, God, Noel.
Oh, God! What are you buying at Home Depot, Noel?
You sad, lonely, sick man.
Okay, let's jump right into Theme Between the Lines, guys. This is my week. I've got a couple questions for you with the secret hidden theme that y'all got to figure out. If you all are listening out there in the stratosphere, the mesosphere, whatever the fuck, wherever you are, and you think you know the secret theme after hearing all these questions, please reach out to us via social media, give us a call, give us an email, whatever you need to do to tell us that you are smart. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Jerry Rice is widely considered to be the greatest wide receiver in the history of the NFL, and he holds the record for longest streak of games with at least one reception. What is that record? Is it 190 games? Is it 274 games? Or is it 246 games?
All of those are already insane.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Holy shit. Do you know how many games a season there were back then? I'm assuming it was like 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah, it probably would have been 16.
This was, what, late 80s, early 90s?
He retired late 90s, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
wow.
that's right.
Okay.
I'm going to say 246. That was one of the ones, right?
It was.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the middle one.
I'm going to go the first one, 190.
Middle one number, so 246. Because it's 190, 274, and 246.
Oh, they're not in order.
No.
I'm going to go 190.
So Trevor's going 190,
I'll
Tom is going
go
246.
274, was that?
That was
Yeah.
the other one, yes.
Yeah.
Correct answer is 274. Congratulations, Noel.
Gah.
I'm a master of sports.
Interesting fact. So he holds the record at 274, and the second place is actually 190. So Homeboy's untouchable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Damn.
Who's second place, do you know?
I forgot.
That's fine.
So I can't help you there. All right. Next question. In 2003, grower Staten Rory grew the world's tallest bean plant on record. How tall was that bean plant? Was it 62 feet? Was it 46 feet? Or was it 37 feet?
Again, based on absolutely nothing, I'm going to go 62.
46.
I'm feeling 46 also.
So Noel and Trevor are going with 46. And
These are
Tom
all
is going
crazy
62.
numbers. That's the theme,
Yeah.
with crazy numbers.
Congratulations to Noel and Trevor. It is 46
Yeah.
feet tall.
Damn.
That is a giant-ass bean plant.
Yeah, it is.
That's enormous.
There's a
What-
giant
Was it all
on top
going
of that.
straight up, or did it fall on its side and they counted that?
It's going straight up.
Is it
Jeez.
a tree then?
It's a stock. Like you've seen like Jack and the Beanstalk and stuff. It's
yeah,
like
but
a
that's
big
not
old
real.
Pick boy.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this is the real version.
There was a golden goose at the top,
There,
Noel.
there was,
Yeah.
and a giant who will grind your bones to make your bread. All right, next question. Which county is home to California's first publicly funded school, theater, public library, and printing press? Would that be Napa Valley, Sonoma, or Monterey?
I'm going to say Monterey.
I'm also going to say Monterey.
I'm going to say Sonoma.
So Tom and Trevor are going Monterey, and Noel is going Sonoma. Congratulations to Tom and Trevor. It is Monterey.
Fuck.
That means that we are... Wait, nope. Yeah, we are all tied up. Everybody's got 2 points.
Ooh.
So,
Oh,
Could have fucking won this goddamn game.
The 1970s saw a massive spike in popularity for salsa dancing, but the dance itself traces its origins back to which decade in Cuba? Would that be the 1920s, the 1910s, or the 1890s?
1890s.
Noah's going
1920s.
old boy.
Yeah.
Tom, you said
I'll
20s?
Yes, the 20s.
I'll go with the 10s. Let's find a winner.
And congratulations to Tom. It was the
God damn.
1920s.
Fuck.
1920s.
Still
Yeah.
came in second place. That's all that matters.
Noel came in second place. Tom is the winner. Again, if you all listening at home think you know the secret theme between the lines, give us a shout at the_never_games. That's for all social media. You can also give us a phone call or an email at hello@thenevergames.com.
And if you are looking for the answer of last week's theme between the lines, don't worry, it'll be on the later half of our show, so make sure you stick around.
Pew, 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 pew,
And
pew, pew.
welcome to the Never Games.
Yeah.
My name is Trevor. I am the CEO of Stickerbox Studios and the producer here at the Never Games.
My name is Tom O'Brien, and I was the giant at the top of the beanstalk. Not nearly as tall as I have been represented.
No. My name is Connor Provost, and that's it.
And my name
Trevor
is and my name is Noel McGinnis. I play the role of Noel McGinnis on the Never Games, and this is the Never Games. I'm Noel McGinnis, the number one podcast for all those participating. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello!
So the other day, I experienced a new thing that I have never experienced before. I got an ultrasound of my heart, so I got to watch
Ooh.
my heart working, and it was cool
Terrifying.
and terrifying. It was wacky. I had like a really bad panic attack, and I thought I was having a heart attack, so I went to the ER, and I got an EKG and an ultrasound and a chest X-ray, and everything's fine, everything's normal. They were like, "There's
Okay.
Good.
no sign that you've ever had a heart attack, and there's no sign that you're going to have a heart attack." But I was like, "But my feelings, though," and they were like, "Fuck your feelings." But
We're normal physical doctors. We don't know what that is.
Yeah. I was like, "But my brain says that I'm dying," and it says your brain is stupid. But they're great doctors.
Good bedside manner.
Yeah. But it was crazy. It was like, and at one point she was looking at my heart, and she's like, "Looks like you're a little dehydrated too." And I was like, "How can you tell that from my heart? What is
Oh
happening?"
my God! What else can you find out?
It was the weirdest thing. It was just the weirdest fucking thing in the world.
God.
But yeah, fun
Damn.
medical things.
Well, that's a lot better of an intro than I had. I was going to say pudding is dead.
Pudding is dead?
Pudding is dead. So I went to the supermarket the other day, and I was trying to buy pudding for the first time. How old am I? 30 in 30 years.
What math were you doing right there?
Well, you know.
You were like, how old am I? I'm 30, so it's probably been 30 years?
Yeah, it was just a
Let's
dramatic
see,
pause.
here's the thing: is I've never actually bought pudding. So how long have I been on this earth?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm 30.
Well, no, I bought pudding distinctly. I remember once when I was 1 and 6 months. So I was subtracting that.
But yeah, I went to the pudding store, and I was trying to buy pudding, and I was looking for some pretty, like, I don't know, exotic flavors. Like, this isn't like the mix. It's like the cups, the pudding cups.
How exotic do you think pudding flavors get, Noel?
So I remember this one, I don't know how many millions of years ago, but it was like a lemon meringue pudding cup with like a lemon pudding and like a meringue vanilla top or something like that. It's like, okay, cool. They have to still have that. That seems like a pretty normal flavor. They have vanilla and chocolate.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
nothing,
alright.
I mean, that
nothing
makes
else.
sense.
And I was pretty disheartened, and now pudding's dead.
See, this is the problem, is that the rest of us have bought pudding before in our lives and are used to the normal flavors that are offered of pudding, and Noel was expecting as many flavors of pudding as there are musical instruments that Trevor plays in Good Damn It.
I've got to be honest with you. I've never bought pudding, but like I understand how pudding works, and there's like 2, maybe 3 flavors, Noel. Like,
Yeah,
what are
well,
you
okay. I
expecting?
guess I'm pretty I'm spoiled by the amount of like craft beer flavors there are, and I was really hoping there'd be
They're not the same thing.
It's I know it's not the same thing.
All right, well, with that, let's jump into.
I just wanted
let's
more than
do
2
it.
flavors. Is it too much to ask for more
Yes,
than
it
chocolate?
is. Yes, it is too
All
much to
right,
ask.
let's play a game then.
We're gonna
God.
play a game, guys.
It is my week to play a game.
Oh god, the look on your face. This is going to be a brutal
Oh,
game.
I hate
It's
this
fine.
already.
You just came up with the title first, so it's a good
Fun
title.
fact. So last week, Tom's game, which was Are You Smarter Than an Assistance Animal? To introduce it, he's like, I have no idea where the idea for this came from. I think I went to the Trevor School of Game Design to come up with it. And my first thought was, that sounds like a great game name.
Oh God.
So today we're playing the Trevor School of Game Design.
I hate it.
What have I created?
The way this is going to be played, this is going to be similar to a game that Connor had a couple of weeks ago called Make Me a Sandwich. I have 3 game names. You're each randomly going to be assigned one of them.
Oh God.
On your turn, you have to come up with how that game is going to be played. After you give your description of the game, the other 2 get to make one change to try and improve it. I'm going to judge this based on playability, listener enjoyment, and our enjoyment playing it.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready to play?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go in order of the standings. So we're going to start with Connor.
Oh.
So, Connor, I have 3 game names. I want you to pick a number between 1 and 3, and that's how we will decide what game you have.
I picked 2.
All right. Game name number 2 is 2001: A Cyberspace Odyssey.
This is already a very tough game.
I hate it. Are they gonna get theirs?
We can do that if everybody wants to think on their own game.
I'm going to need as much time as I can just to
Sure.
think
All right,
about
let's
it. Yeah.
let's give them all out now then. So next up would be Tom. Pick a number 1 or 2.
I'll go 1.
All right, Tom, your game name is the Dive Bar Exam.
Oh, that's so much better. Can we trade?
And that leaves one more for Noel. Noel, your game is going to be Haiku, spelled Highghcoup.
That is also so much better.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one.
I definitely think that there were better and worse ones. That's why I randomized it and let you pick on your own. So, Connor, you have no one to blame but yourself.
I know, but I'm gonna blame you and Tom just because we have a history.
Just going back in the box, eh?
Yeah, you're getting back in it. 2001 Cyberspace Odyssey.
And anybody listening along at home, if you have an idea of what these games could be, send them to us. We'd love to hear them, maybe even play them. Oh, and also, I retain all the rights to these games in future episodes if one of them ends up being
It's being really good. See, this is again the Trevor School of Game Design in that it's exactly like the party that he was like, yeah, everybody bring a whole bunch of liquor and we'll have an open bar, and then at the end he got an open bar, like he got a fully stocked bar. The game is making us design games for him.
Trevor basically has a game farm.
And the best part is, the game design for it was done by Connor.
Fuck you.
It's a Connor game design based on a Tom suggestion. He's gonna steal.
Oh my God.
There's only 3 hosts on this show. I'm just now realizing 3 hosts in a mirror.
Yeah.
I have absolutely nothing. I have no. I
Really?
yeah. I have
Connor,
nothing.
I'm willing to be generous here. I'm willing to go before you if you want some more time to think.
Yeah. I don't think that it's gonna do me any good. I think I just have to fucking forfeit the point. Honestly,
Trevor,
'Cause I have zero. I have nothing.
The downside of this game is that you're giving us like a minute and a half to think of a game, in which we usually take about a week to prepare, if not more.
You don't have to have like the questions prepared, just like the general idea of what the game would be.
All right, so I am good to go. If
I'm
Alright.
kind of good to go also.
Let's hear what you got, Tom.
All right, so my game is the Dive Bar Exam.
Yes.
It is a series of questions which are structured as I give a state, and then I give a bizarre law which applies to bars. So, obvious ones are like no serving alcohol on Sundays until after 5 p.m. or, stuff like that. But there's got to be a lot of weird niche laws that are
Right.
like, no serving pickles from a pool table. Like, or, find you find those really weird ones. You give the state and the law, and then you guys have to guess how frequently a year that law is broken.
All right.
So it's like, okay, the law is, Missouri, you can't serve pickles from a pool table. How often are people charged with breaking that law in the most recent
Missouri
year?
pickle law, yeah.
Because then you have to think about, like, okay, this is a weird law, which is funny, but also you have to be like, well, how frequently does that happen? And you have to, there's some good banter there. And...
Yeah.
My change would be that instead of guessing like how often, or like being given the state and guessing how often it's broken, I would still do it like my food style games where I'm going to give you all the states, I'm going to give you the laws, and you have to connect the state to the law.
It's weird because I can already feel out like we each have our own signature game styling. I feel like it's definitely going to become a lot more pertinent as we do this game. My suggestion is if you broaden it to more definitions of bar. Like, you see, what's the weird thing that would happen in like a ballet class or something like that, where the police would have to be, involved, or just use bar as like
as vague of a term.
What the fuck? Yeah, like why did someone kill a person and then put them in like a Hershey's factory or something like that?
So it's interesting, Connor, that my first thought was to have it be structured in a United States of francs.
Yeah.
And that I only changed it because Trevor was like, the first thing I'm judging on is uniqueness.
Right, that's fair.
So I was like, I can't start by like, okay, it's structured like a game that Connor played last week.
Yeah.
This is tough. I really like the obscure laws. I really like the guessing how often it's broken. But I feel like a lot of the really obscure laws would not actually be enforced.
It's like that thing in fucking How I Met Your Mother where it's like, don't like boogie board in the bar or some weird shit like that. It's like, it's a law because it's only happened once.
Right. So I'm going to give this point to Noel.
Wow.
I think that opening it up to a lot more variations on the word bar allows for better laws to be found that don't just revolve around drinking alcohol in bars.
And then you can talk about Mark Wahlberg and how he stole a bunch of gold in Italy in that movie.
I'm going to take that point away from Noel.
All right, well, I have mine if, Connor, you're not ready to go yet.
I have kind of a...
I'll give you some more time.
We'll give you another minute on it.
So mine was haiku, and in each round, each of you has a turn into... I will be describing, a form of media that's pretty stoner-based. Like, so for the first round, it would be like weed movies or stoner movies, and I would give that I would describe it in the form of a haiku, and then each one of you guess. If you get it wrong, the other two can steal it. And then round two would be like weed music or, basically whatever 311 or Sublime is doing. But then I would change up the poetic format, and I would do limericks, and then so on and so forth. And then the last one would be weed art or whatever, and I would do like an iambic pentameter or whatever else, is out there. But it's all based on, if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, it's pretty much anyone else's game. Whoever gets it first, can steal that point.
Okay. That was a completely different direction than I had gone when I came up with the idea.
No,
So,
wait. I'm kind of curious, Trevor.
Wait, can you recap that just real quick? So you have to write poems based on like all these.
Right. So, for example, the first round would be like weed movies. I would make up 3 different haikus for 3 different stoner movies, like,
And we have to determine the movie.
You'd have to determine the movie. If you get it wrong, the other 2 people can steal it.
Okay.
That's basically it.
So my change here is that instead of doing a haiku or a limerick that describes a specific piece of weed media, we have to determine whether you've written a haiku about a weed movie or a military coup.
Fuck me, dude.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I got nothing else. Yeah, Tom wins that one.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not even gonna bother. That's really good.
That'd be tough to beat. So.
Yeah. The only thing that I was thinking is changing Noel's format would be that we would, much like the games where we've played, like we have to come up with lyrics or whatever, I'll give you the weed thing, and then you have to come up with a haiku or limerick or whichever format I determine on the spot.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I have like this weird thing in the back of my mind that prevents me from doing subjective games like this. Like that's why I always do like the multiple choice or anything like that, because it's right or wrong. It's once you add in your own feelings, then it gets weird.
I think if it's early, I think I can trust all of us to be objective, and I think if it's early in the season where it's not affecting like the outcome too much, I don't see a problem with it.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's only the last like really 5 episodes when points start getting tight, and we're like, fuck you, Connor.
Me?
Yeah, you're the current winner.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Tom ran away with that one.
But it's weird. It's like, how can I talk about? I don't know coups like Nicaragua and then Pineapple Express, like
right.
It's a good crossover.
I am curious on Trevor's blueprints for all these games too.
So that one I was thinking it would be, I would give you a military coup that took down a drug lord, and you would have to write a haiku about it. Was kind of the first thought that I had on it, but I think the combination of what Noel and Tom have created here is definitely better.
I saw Trevor writing something down. So.
Expect that to come back.
We've got 4 weeks until it's Trevor's turn for a game again.
Yeah.
All right. 2001 Cyberspace Odyssey. So I hate it, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, there's going to be 3 different things that happened in 2001, like technology-led things that happened in 2001, and I want you to pitch me that thing. So the things that I'm thinking of are going to be like BitTorrent first started in 2001.
Wow.
Xbox first started in 2001. Steven Spielberg's AI, artificial intelligence, was released that year. Windows XP, and then the first iteration of iTunes. So just various things, and you're going to pitch me those.
So like as if we were on the board of
Correct.
directors, that
Correct.
you were like, okay, I've got this idea.
I want you to sell me on these things. But I'm gonna do a deeper. I think if we were to do it, I would do a deeper dive and find failed things. Like BitTorrent like barely exists anymore. So that's more what I'm looking for.
The fact that you came up with 5 in the past couple minutes is
right.
That's good.
That's where I ended up.
I like it. Kind of similar to Defend Yourself, Sir.
Yeah.
But you're pitching a product rather than just defending a random thing.
And again, I think I would make sure that these were things that like failed, that like did not work out. Like the ones that I named, like obviously a bunch of them like ended up
like I would buy Microsoft. Yeah.
Well,
so the change that I'm making is that the structure is still similar to Defend Yourself, Sir, but it is more closely related to the TV show Shark Tank. So it'd be like I would be pitching, you would have the ultimate say, but that I would be pitching it to the 3 of you, and you would get to
so
like
you as
argue.
the host are pitching.
No, so it would be, you've got these 3 things, and you're like, okay, Tom, you're pitching the Xbox. I'm pitching to Connor, the leader of the game, but also pitching to Noel and Trevor. and it become so that you guys get a little bit of back and forth to argue with me of like saying like what percentage of like this profit, like how much, what do you think your profit margin is going to be?
Okay.
And like throw some questions at me that I'm just like, $12 million? I don't like how much do you think the Clippy spin-off game is going to make for Microsoft? And I'm like,
Okay.
I went a completely different way. You would start with a thing from like a defunct tech thing, but you would have to do some sort of like Wikipedia multi-jump. You know, like click a link to get to a different article, to get to a different article, to get to a different article.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about like doing a little where are they now kind of situation.
Exactly. So I guess I would do that. I know it's not one thing, and it's kind of like flipping the game up on its ass, but that's all I got.
So I'm not understanding, Noel.
Yeah, it's basically go from A to B through Wikipedia links.
Yeah, Wikipedia races.
Yeah, so it all starts with something from like, you know, Y2K tech, and then you jump to like a similar one, even though it's not going to be that you know, many links, but or you can go to something completely different, like, you know, MySpace to an eggplant and see the least
number of clicks.
Yeah, the least amount of jumps wins.
My thing with that is that I was thinking about that. My thing with that is that it's not going to be like people are not going to like it's just going to be us clicking and being like, I got 4.
Oh no!
You know?
Like I said, the game is going to be horrible. It's just the idea.
Okay, Noel doesn't win.
Awesome, thanks, guys. Still coming second? No, it doesn't matter.
I think I got to give this one to Tom. I think that the twist of allowing the other players to try and mess with you on your turn will make it a lot more fun to listen to and
my
fun to play. My
confusion is where the points come in for that game, though.
Yeah, because it just could be like this drunken barroom brawl at the end.
Like, how do you?
That's what Defend Yourself, sir, ended up being.
Right, but like, how do you score that game? If it would be subjective
in the same way as Defend Yourself, sir.
But if I'm the host and each one of you are pitching, so if I'm the host and then Tom's pitching, and then you guys are also involved as like Shark Tank members, like what is your involvement and how would you guys get points?
I think maybe like points if we're able to talk you out of buying the product, or a point if talking you into it. It was kind of how I was picturing it.
Oh.
Similar to Defend Yourself, sir, where you're picking one person in that game, but in this case, it would be you're either picking them or the jury.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's like, okay, we've determined Tom is a success, I get a point. We determined that Tom is a failure, Trevor and Noel get a point.
Oh,
towards the total points for the end of the game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that. That's cool.
I think that then gives that point to Tom.
Yeah.
Which means that Noel did come in second.
Noel did come in second.
Oh, fuck. I hate this.
Your hair looks really good, though.
Thanks, got a haircut today. It's all glossy.
Yeah.
Leaning Tower of Jesus.
Yes, Goofy movie. God, I love that movie so much.
You guys want to jump into a break?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure, let's do it.
And when we get back, we've got a special surprise for all of you at home. Special guest Willow Payne will be joining us to talk some media and see if she is an expert.
Woo!
Today's episode is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so that you always know how much you're going to get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. And be sure to add our podcast in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of the application.
All right, so now we are going to reveal the answer of last week's Theme Between the Lines. Did any of you guys get it? I kind of hit it a little on the head, but
Was it something like hidden themes within other things?
Bonus
Or
content, secret Easter eggs.
That's correct, Tom. It is Easter eggs.
It was
I
the Easter
went
episode.
holiday. And then out of all the dozens of incorrect answers, we were able to fish out one lucky winner. Congratulations to Lily P. from sunny LA, New Hampshire. Nope, California. If you want to be like Lily and you think you know the answer to this week's theme Between the Lines, if you give us a shout on social media or hello@thenevergames.com, or give us a call. The phone number is 4064 26 37 24 or 406 games 24.
Just make that phone number a little bit harder to digest, could you?
Yeah, the phone number is 4,064,263,724 or 406 games 24. You think I couldn't do it?
I almost understood what you were going for there. Could you just give it one more shot and just really make sure nobody ever calls?
Can we just figure out what that would be in binary? We'll just,
Yeah, I need a key for like hexadecimal code or something like that.
Now we can go back to talking about Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
But once again, how has nobody mentioned The Birdcage? That movie is incredible.
Yeah. See, I don't connect his voice work with his face. I frequently have to be reminded that the physical person who is on screen is the guy who does all the voices in Simpsons. He had a recurring role in Friends too.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he was Phoebe's boyfriend who moves to Minsk.
Was he also on what is the show with the Kevin James show? King Queens?
King Queens.
Maybe.
If not that, the Drew Carey show he must have been on.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a great show that was.
hello there. We didn't see you. Welcome back from our break.
Yes, that's right.
Wasn't really sure where you were going with that, Tom. But
It's very confusing.
It's okay. Nobody ever notices me the first time.
Well, if you just heard that voice and are wondering who that is, it is our guest this episode, the wonderful Willow Payne, the artist for library comic. Willow, welcome.
Thank you, Trevor. Most people don't get that pronunciation right. It is librarycomic.com.
I believe it's pronounced library comic.
Oh God.
The word library isn't pronounced that way, but the name of the comic is.
Well, no, that's a common mistake. If you Google library comic, that is a whole other thing. It's not safe for work. Very sexual. I don't recommend it. Not a good
Still
comic.
drawn by you, though, right?
Yeah, that's my. That is where I get out all of my repressed sexual fantasies in comic format.
Before we go way deeper into this sidetrack, bringing it back to mispronunciations, Willow informed me the location of NeverCon is not pronounced Boca Raton.
That is correct.
Boca Raton.
Yeah, it is.
Boca Raton.
It is Boca Raton.
Which does not
Oh.
rhyme.
We're gonna have to move it.
Yeah, I think we have to change the location.
Or we can just change the event and we just send all the people Nevercones from Boca Raton.
I was gonna say we'll put it in a pyramid building and it'll be Nevercone.
Yeah,
Boca
it can
Raton.
actually, come to somewhat of a fruition. We'll just send everyone Nevercones.
Yeah.
If you want to buy,
See, I was thinking.
if you want to buy a cheap plot of land and name it Boca Raton to host the convention, I think that is a solid plan.
There is that thing that's happening now where people can pay $10 to buy a very tiny plot of land in Scotland so that they can become a lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we can just do that.
Welcome to Sir Never Games.
Boca Raton, Scotland.
Lord Boca Raton. Lord Never Games of Boca Raton, Scotland.
All
God.
right.
See, okay, I had a few ideas actually. I was thinking we could either go to Charleston, South Carolina, we could go to Houston, Texas, or we could go to Madison, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Not Madison.
Yeah.
Madison, Wisconsin. It is the Multimedia Minute, by the way.
Getting us off of this because Trevor will talk about
we're way
this
off track here.
Much too long.
Yeah.
Willow, you're also the co-host of a new podcast with Gene, the writer for Library Comics, called Bookstabber, right?
That is correct. We have a new podcast out now called Bookstabber. The short pitch for it is that we argue about books. The long pitch is that I am famously hard to recommend books for. I hate everything, is what all my friends say about Tom, you know this. I hate everything.
I mean, it is a thing I have said about you many times.
It's true. And I met you pretty late in my life. Everyone already knows that I hate everything. So my good friend, Gene Ambaum, who I make a comic strip with twice a week, he's a professional librarian, and he's like, we're going to find books that you will enjoy. And so he essentially gives me reading assignments. We're trying to get book recommendations from our audience and from interested parties. And this is really every librarian's dream is to get people books that they love and keep them reading.
Yeah. What has been your favorite book that you were sort of flipped around on, or that he suggested for you?
Well, we've only done 3 episodes so far. Of those 3, I have enjoyed maybe 1.5 of them.
That seems like a pretty good average.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Right. That is a pretty
50%.
good average. So I'm still waiting for the real surprise where it's like, whoa, this book is crazy. But I just started number 4, and I'm pretty sure that one is not going to be fun for me.
So one of my favorite parts about this podcast is that a big part of it is that, Willow is very gracious, but Gene straight up comes out and is like, my goal is to get Willow really pissed off and go on a rant, because I think Willow's rants are hilarious. And the very first episode is like, all right, what did you think of this book, Willow? And Willow, you were just like, I liked it. It was really good. He was like, that's not what I want. I want you to be angry.
What are your favorite books, Willow? Did you give him anything to go off of?
Oh, sure. I mean, my favorite, for the longest time growing up, my favorite book was, it's unfair to say book because it's the whole series, but The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books by Douglas Adams.
Oh, yes.
It's
my favorite books, too.
Highly formative part of my life. And then I discovered Neil Gaiman in high school, and there was a point where, American Gods was in competition for the number 1 slot. And then in grad school, I finally got to read the Neil Gaiman Sandman comics, which, if we're counting comics, which I do, I consider that to basically,
especially that one. Yeah,
I consider that to basically be the greatest achievement in, mankind.
I was borrowing the Sandman comics. Roommate of mine had 2 big books of the entire thing.
I have those same giant books. Yeah.
The books are just neat looking to begin with. Mm-hmm. The story's great. I had to read the whole thing in 2 weeks because he was moving out.
Oh.
And I got a quarter of the way through the first book, and he was like, "Hey, I need that back. I'm leaving." And I was like, "No, I need to finish this."
Oh,
that's more dedication than any comic I've handed you.
No, that time we drove to St. Louis, I read Mouse and didn't talk to you and Allison the entire ride because I was just reading that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was actually with you when you went to St. Louis then.
No, I remember you coming with me. I don't remember you reading Mouse.
It is interesting that you brought up Neil Gaiman, because this has been sitting on my desk for probably a year now, and I just haven't touched it, and I don't really know why.
Reminder, Connor, this is a podcast. People can't.
I was about to
to the viewers at home. Connor just held up a paper plate tambourine that he made that has, in glitter and glue, Neil Gaiman's silhouette.
Yep. Yes. But no, for the listeners, this is a paperback copy of Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman that my buddy lent to me, a year ago, and it's just sitting on my desk, and I just haven't done it, and I don't really know why.
Neil Gaiman wrote a book called Don't Panic that is all about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I haven't read it thoroughly. I believe that I skimmed most of it in a Borders when Borders was still a thing.
Oh, wow. Borders.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my credentials. In fact, that's probably where I found American Gods, was right next to that.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite, I guess, Neil Gaiman stories is that he currently lives, I think, in Woodstock, New York, which is very close to where my girlfriend's mom lives, and their favorite bookstore is his favorite bookstore. And he'll just go in, and if no one's paying attention, he'll sign a whole bunch of copies of his books. And then the bookstore will have to tweet out and be like, "Holy shit, you guys, Neil Gaiman showed up today. We've got 12 signed copies. Like, come and get them."
That's really great.
Yeah.
But we should talk about Willow's stuff.
Right.
It is on par with the creations of Neil Gaiman.
I wish.
I've read through a bunch of library comic, and it's really good. It's really funny. It's very, very character-based. There's a vibrant community chatting in the comments of all of it, too, which is great.
Depending on where you look, some are more vibrant than others. It's been really weird because I volunteered in a library when I was in high school for some kind of college application credit. But
yeah,
other than that, I don't consider myself part of that community, but now I've sort of been inducted as an honorary member. And it's really strange. It feels like they are, because that is who the comic is primarily for, is for people who work in libraries. It's really from that perspective of you are an employee of the library, and they have really interesting, it's not like your typical office environment. It is this group of super nice people who all are deeply humanitarian, deeply into, free speech and all of the good things. And also, they have a very strange sense of humor.
And are working functionally retail jobs in the way that they have to interact with the public.
Right.
It's client-facing, but it's not like a client-facing that you would experience in other places. Like, it's a very personal client-facing.
When I got brought in on the comic, because I'm the third artist to work on this particular comic strip, when I brought in, I think I've basically made the strip worse for all of the people who are long-term fans, because Gene and I go over scripts every week, and he's like, all right, here's the strips. And they'll be like a lot of them are these very wholesome interactions between librarians and patrons. I'm like, all right, but what if in panel 4, the punchline was that just a whole swarm of hornets came in and stung everyone? And then we'll kind of negotiate back and forth on that.
I love how you like to draw in deleted scenes in your comics. That I really hope you keep like this whole compendium of hornets coming in, but you like never publish that panel, but only for you.
Panel 4 always filled with hornets. 7-panel comic, only panel 4 filled with hornets.
You joke, but this is a real conversation Gene and I have had about the secret 4th panel filled with hornets. We have an ongoing joke where Gene wants me to start drawing spiders into various strips just as like an Easter egg, because that's one of my go-to recommendations is what if a giant spider just came and ate everyone? I have a one-track mind.
I also like to think that you just have, instead of drawing hornets every single time, you just have a filter that you've built in Photoshop that's like, all right, and highlight panel 4, activate hornet filter, and we're good to go.
Right, like the great mangakas, I have created a special Photoshop brush that is just a swarm of hornets.
I do have a Photoshop brush that is just Scrooge McDuck coins that I made.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
You gotta send that to me. I'm gonna use that.
I sent it to John Chad. He was thrilled. But
he would, yeah.
But yeah, I never use it, but I have it.
This explains his Christmas cards lately.
Willow, I also wanted to ask you about the Burning Blade of the Badlands.
Yes,
I read through everything that's up on that.
Right.
When is more coming out?
Well, that's a bit of a tricky question. It's not really a fun answer to that. But Trevor is referring to a webcomic that Gene and I worked on before I was working on Library Comic, that you can see at www.barbariangirl.com. It's an all-ages action-adventure comic strip about a young girl who lives on a desert planet with her moon tiger and her father who wields a magical sword, and their ongoing battle against space marines. It was a lot of fun to work on, and I have actually drawn a considerable portion of what we consider book 2. I'd say there's about 35 pages that are ready to go, but we tried to do a Kickstarter and it didn't really go anywhere. The problem is that comic just doesn't have any readership, so we gave up on it in pursuit of other things.
Yeah.
Which is really disappointing because it's a great comic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you ever consider melding the two and go full MCU with the library comic and the Burning Blade?
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Last year we did a little bit of a spin-off of library comic for Halloween that was called Monster Library, where it took place in a different library that was run by and for monstrous individuals. So there's a Gorgon, a Minotaur, a dragon. That was fun. That one basically got to get all of my giant spider shenanigans that I'm always thinking of.
I do remember you being excited because you had a whole month where Gene just accepted your ideas carte blanche. That you were just like, well, what if this panel's full of hornets? And he was like, yeah, it's the Halloween one. Go for it.
Right, precisely.
Well, yeah, for anybody out there who hasn't checked it out yet, it's librarycomic.com, is that right?
Correct.
And we'll have links to that and everything else from Willow, the podcast, Burning Blade of the Badlands, or Barbarian Girl, with it as well. But Willow also claims to be an expert in the 1997 cartoon Daria.
That is correct. Daria was a very important cartoon in my life, and I have watched it many times. Some would say far too important for any one person.
You clearly didn't listen to the Dorm Life episodes. Plural.
I did, actually.
Oh, yeah? Have you watched Dorm Life yet?
Not yet, but based on your glowing recommendation, it's on the periphery for me. But I'm so busy reading these bad books that I keep getting recommended that I don't know when I'll have time for Dorm Life.
That is fair.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into it, though. Let's play Stump the Expert. I had never seen Daria.
I haven't either.
Before this.
Wow. Okay, I should. Yeah. I got worried about nothing. Jeez.
I think all of the Daria that I had watched previously was with you, Willow.
That makes sense. Well, I remember you specifically did not enjoy it, and I don't blame you.
I don't not enjoy it, but a big part of it was that I was watching it with you and Luke.
Yeah.
And the two of you were such big Daria fans, and I was like, I'm not up to speed with what you guys are talking about. You're like, isn't that character great? And I was like, I don't know that person's name yet.
One of my more recent experiences with Daria was that my sister and I went to this brewery that was having like a 90s night.
Ooh.
And they had a cover bands playing, and they were playing Jagged Little Pill front to back. And a big projector was showing Daria like on the side of the brewery, like the big wall. And it
sounds so cool.
Pretty dope. Yeah.
Man.
But we got some questions for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. In Season 3, Episode 9, entitled Jake of Hearts, there are two DJs that come to visit Lawndale High. What are their names?
Oh, geez. God, I can picture them.
I can just feel your confidence dwindling, by the second here.
That was one I really wasn't anticipating.
Yeah.
It's a feeling that we've all experienced.
Yeah.
And it's the worst feeling imaginable.
As the course of a question starts coming in, it's like, I know that episode. Yeah, I knew that was the title. I remember kind of the plot. Who was that?
I can picture the characters.
And then what song did they write? What?
I think Dario was in it. I think.
Was one of their name? No, I don't know. I
got a guess.
No, God, I'm just trying to come up. I'm gonna say Big Fish and Little Dog.
That is incorrect, unfortunately.
So much better.
Yeah, it is. The correct answer is Bing and the Spatula Man.
Of course.
Which,
of course,
Big Fish and Little Dog are better names, but I feel like
Definitely.
Bing and the Spatula Man is a more Daria name for, like...
I know, I feel so ashamed already, but like Daria, I'm going to do my best to suppress my feelings and pretend like it doesn't get to me.
That's
very meta.
That speaks, I think, to Daria's self-esteem, there's a quote that I really enjoyed. It says, "I don't have low self-esteem. I just have low esteem for everyone else."
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Which actually leads pretty well into my question, because it is about season 1, episode 1.
Oh.
Tom didn't watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
So Mike Judge was not involved in the creation of Daria. He was off making King of the Hill. But Daria is a direct spin-off of Beavis and Butthead.
Yes.
The show Daria takes place right after Daria and her family move from Highland, Texas, the setting of Beavis and Butthead, to Lawndale, state unknown. And only once in the entirety of the run of Daria is anything related to Beavis and Butthead mentioned. And that is when Daria is talking to her mom, and Helen says, "Daria, your father is trying to tell you not to judge people until you know them. We're in a brand new school in a brand new town. You don't want it to be like Highland all over again." And Daria says, "Not much of a chance of that happening, unless..." What?
Unless there's uranium in the water here, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Nice. Word for word, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, unless
Well
there's
done.
uranium in the drinking water here, too.
Wow.
The no hesitation at all. You're just like,
Not
"God,
at
Tom."
all.
Yep. Just right there.
I was trying to do my best voice there. I don't know if...
No, we can put it through the filter later, and we'll make it work.
We have a Daria filter.
Yeah.
Great. I was actually watching an interview with Tracy Grandstaff, who was the voice of Daria, and it's amazing how, like, she wasn't really doing anything. Like, she just sounds that way. She emotes more when she's talking normal and not acting, but her voice is almost just that entirely. Like, she's not doing anything special.
That's a thing I feel about Hank Azaria.
True that.
That's actually the voice actress for BMO in Adventure Time is the same thing.
Wait, really?
Wait, she's the
Yeah.
same. The voice actress for Daria is the same as.
No.
Okay, because that would have been weird, man.
Yeah,
That's what I thought you were saying.
No. The voice actress for BMO doesn't do anything to her voice.
Right.
It's just what she sounds like. Yeah.
She just stops.
Yeah, I actually did have to look up who.
I thought all of you were as astonished by that fact as I was, but no. You know what? Yes, she is Daria also. Isn't it amazing?
Whoa!
It was weird because I thought for sure before I looked up the voice actor, it was like a Linda Cardinelli or someone.
Cardellini?
Well, it was a rumor for years and years that Janine Garofalo was the true voice of Daria and that she was using a fake name, but that was not true.
Huh.
Okay, yeah, I could see that also.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I got a question here. So I'm going to jump ahead one season from where Tom was to season 2, episode 1, which was titled Arts and Crafts. In that episode, Daria and Jane have to create a poster to submit to an art competition.
Yes.
With the title Student Life at the Dawn of the Millennium. They create a poster that has an image of a pretty girl looking in a mirror, and all the teachers really like the poster until they read the poem at the bottom. What is the poem?
I could say a couple lines from it, but I can't do it in its entirety.
We'll see how close you get and let the judges decide.
It's something to the effect of, she knows she's a winner, she couldn't be thinner, something, because she throws up her dinner.
That is pretty much it. I got to give that to you. Do you want to try and take a swing at that third line? I feel like you've got it.
Well, what rhymes? That's the problem.
Oh, it doesn't actually rhyme.
Okay, it's got that limerick format. Yeah, that's the problem with it. If it doesn't rhyme, then she knows she's a winner, she couldn't be thinner, because she goes in the bathroom and throws up dinner.
That's it.
Okay.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
Good job.
Wow.
Bravo.
Impressive.
Well, and they do their best effort to try to. I mean, they do ruin the poem, and they try to change it to.
Yeah.
She knows.
What a great episode that was.
Yeah, for real.
Like, I got to go and look into more of this show because.
Right.
Willow, I've got to be honest. I'm super grateful to you because so far I'm the only one to get a point. So
Yeah, because
thank you.
Oh, that's what Connor really needed, was to pad his points.
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I did.
And so I'm the first guest on this on Stump the Expert, is my understanding. So I feel like
That's
I
right.
should be added to the scoreboard, and when I get these right, I deserve points.
You do.
Okay.
The problem is points really only matter to us.
Noel's just scared he's going to be outscored by guests.
Yeah, I want to come in fourth at least, maybe even fifth or sixth, depending on how many people we have on.
No, I appreciate your concern. However, I do need to pad my resume, and so having 2 points on the Never Games podcast is, look, I really need this
It's
job.
something to be celebrated.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just like how I do all of my Xbox achievements on my resume, so it works out.
Oh, damn, I've been missing out for years.
Yeah, my resume says in the same year I successfully stormed Normandy and won the Stanley Cup, so it's great. All right, but back to the game. So I'm going to go back to the first season.
Okay.
Season 1, Episode 6, entitled This Year's Model. What upgrade to the school does a principal pine for?
She's pining for... Well, no, this might be one that she already got. But I want to say if it's Season 1, Principal Angela Lee is talking about bulletproof glass ceilings for the gymnasium pool.
Yes,
No
that's
way!
correct.
Oh my god!
God.
That's crazy. I could not stop laughing once I heard what they wanted for their pool. That was
Willow,
nuts.
well done.
Holy hell!
I
We have been put in
That
our
is
place.
I
impressive.
really should have...
Uh,
Well, yeah, you're all so proud for me, but I'm really kicking myself for not getting the DJs. Can I even call myself a fan now?
You certainly can.
Oh, you're a Daria fan? Name both DJs.
Let's put it into perspective, Willow. There has only ever been one successful expert on
Yeah.
and
Stump the
that was
Expert.
mostly because of one of the hosts' incompetence for the subject itself.
Oh,
Yeah,
Way to take that away from me, Noel.
I didn't
Yeah.
really watch all of the play that Connor wanted me to watch. Actually, Willow, if you want to go for bonus, I did have another question for you that I skipped over because I thought it would be too hard. But do you want to go for it?
yes. Any chance to get more points?
All right. When leaving the Mall of the Millennium in that episode, when they went to the Mall of the Millennium, I forget which one
Mhm.
that is. What area does Daria meet her sister at?
Oh, you want the actual...
It's a certain level, a certain area, and a certain section.
Right.
I was glad that you didn't do this one because I was gonna nix it. 'cause
Yeah,
that just
it
seems-
was too I don't know, nitty gritty or
Right.
I don't think
right.
anyone would have remembered that.
It's a color and a number. I know that. The irony is that within the same episode, the football quarterback Kevin Thompson comes up with a mnemonic device to try to remember
Yeah.
the level that he is on, that the school bus is on. Or I don't know if they took separate cars or a bus or whatever, but that's beside the point. But he's just like, FAMAS 3, FAMAS 3. And like that makes perfect sense to him, and it's funny because now I have that remembered, even though that's not a real thing.
That was the only reason why I thought about even including it, was because they did come up with this same mnemonic device. It was DeLavender 5.
So yeah, I was gonna
level
guess.
5, Area D, Section Lavender.
Yeah, I remember FAMAS 3, but I don't remember D Lavender 5.
Well, you're still pretty much
Yeah.
more of an expert than most of us, so
Yeah,
good
you've-
job. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That was really
It
impressive.
was.
I'm very angry.
I was, yeah. I mean, those were difficult questions. I was anticipating some really weird stuff. I cataloged all of the end credit sequences where they have the characters redrawn as other things, you know. And
I
so
almost did one of those, and I'm so glad I didn't, because you still would have gotten it right.
right, yeah. No, I have these scribbled notes in front of me of like, okay, the Fashion Club are these characters. Jane is this, you know.
when I did the Harry Potter musical, I can show you. I just went and I figured out all the questions that I would have asked, and I just wrote everything down.
Right.
I didn't have it in front of me when we were playing the game, but I just this is what I would ask, and like.
I have actually removed myself from subjects. Like when I did How I Met Your Mother last time, I was like, okay, I haven't seen this in a while. My palate has been cleansed.
And to be fair, Noel, you were at a disadvantage because you had to pick something without remembering that you were making a pick.
That you were supposed to do it.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. In all fairness, I think I rewatched that entire series like a week or two beforehand anyway, so it was the freshest thing in my mind, short of like, primary colors or something like that.
Noel's colorblind.
Yeah, the primary colors are gray, and black.
All right. Should we jump into some fake ads?
Yeah, we should do some fake ads.
Today's episode of the Never Games is brought to you by the Millennium Mall. Don't forget where you parked. We've got easy mnemonic devices for all floors. That's the Millennium Mall. Opened 20 years ago.
Wow.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Nude Noodles. Nude Noodles is the #1 spot to stop and top off your tum-tum with yum-yums. Not tainted with toppings that taste like doggy droppings or soaked in silly sauces like some sort of seaweed in a swamp, Nude Noodles food will taste neutral by the spoonful. And every meal comes with a strudel. Or bugles. Nude Noodles says toodaloo to the futile pursuit of wooing the food critic and sticks to making a clinic of making specifically one meal ticket that's the perfect pick for a terrific picnic. Go to Google and review Nude Noodles now for a coupon for the newest from Nude Noodles, which is Nude Noodles, which are nude noodles in the shape of nude dudes. Nude Noodles. Noodles. Nude.
Jesus Christ.
God.
A coupon? A coupon?
I was just trying to make it like rhyme a little better.
Can we make a page-a-day calendar for all of our good fake ads?
Oh my god. That was really funny.
No one's going to top that. Shit.
I do have to give credit. My girlfriend came up with the name for that.
Okay.
The Trevor Kelly School of Ad Design. Just come up with the name of the company.
Connor, do you have one?
No, I don't want to do one after that.
Willow, did you have a fake ad? Or you want to take a shot at one?
Sure. Today's episode of the Never Games is brought to you by Chicken Chuggets, the only chicken nugget that is 7.2% alcohol. Chicken Chuggets. now available at your local Burger King.
Oh man, I know what I'm having after we finish recording.
Yeah.
Good God, does that sound so bad?
Oh god.
You're going to try it.
There's no way that you're gonna see alcoholic nuggies on a menu and not be like, yuck.
I mean, Connor lives down the street from Baja Blast Margaritas, so like it can't be that much worse.
Oh yeah.
I had another one, but I think it's too dark.
So lay it on us.
No, go for it.
Just every fourth sentence is Hornets attack.
All right, but I told you. The problems facing the world right now: overpopulation, ecological disaster, global warming. That's why I've created a new app called Chipper. Chipper is the only app that, with your GPS, finds you the nearest wood chipper to throw yourself into and removes your carbon emission from the globe. So do your part and download Chipper today.
Oh my god, I love it.
I love it.
That started out dark, and I was like, wow, yeah, this is dark. And then, good God.
Yep. I love it. I love it.
What is that? Some kind of sorting machine? Yep, some sort.
Today's episode of the Never Games is also brought to you by Legal Seafoods and their new self-serve chowder fountain. Whenever you want, Manhattan, New England, or that other one, you can choose your pick from red, white, or a blush at Legal Seafoods. That's all I got. Sorry.
I like that. That's all I got. I'm sorry. As part of the ad copy. That's not Noel talking.
That's written into the page. Yeah.
Honestly, the fake ads have been like the most stressful part of the show as of late. Just because I'm just trying to fucking roll them out, and
yeah,
there's a certain point in the week where I have to stop thinking about something funny and just start thinking about like correctly formed sentences that I can just say.
That's fair.
Yeah, so yeah.
Willow, we'll let you go before we go into our whole closeout spiel.
Okay.
But thank you so much for joining. For those out there listening, check the links in our page. Go to thenevergames.com, and you can find everything from Willow. Go find Library Comic, the podcast. What was the podcast name again?
The podcast name is Bookstabber, one word. You can go to Bookstabber.com.
And everything else will be there. Willow, thank you so much for being on. This was a blast.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yay.
Wonderful.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining us today at the Never Games. Thank you to Willow for joining us, being our first guest of Season 2. Thank you for listening. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, a rating, whatever it is that you do on the social medias, wherever you find great podcasts, whether it be Apple, Spotify, or any of the other ones that people use. I don't even know what they are, but thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to us, please do it. We love hearing from our fans. Find us on social media at the_never_games. Send us an email to hello@thenevergames.com or call us on our phone. The number is 406-GAMES-24. That's 406-426-3724.
And if you love the show and you don't have a cell phone telephone for you to call in to us, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/nevergames. All patrons will get some awesome exclusive Never Games prizes no matter how much you donate. This will help us keep the single exposed light bulb lit in our studio so we can make even more crappy awesome games for as long as we live. No gift is too large, no gift is too small.
And if you want more amazing Never Games content, you can head on over to our website. That's thenevergames.com. You can get all sorts of great stuff there. You can listen to all of the episodes, comment on those episodes, and engage with other fans. Read our dating profiles. Find out the things that we enjoy on the Multimedia Minute. And find links to all sorts of great stuff done by Willow Payne, our guest for today, either through our website or over at librarycomics.com. All of the music in today's episode is done by Good Damn It. That is Trevor on the Everything You Can Possibly Imagine, and Noel on the drums.
And man, did he play that kazoo mighty fine last week.
That's all Noel can imagine.
And thank you for listening to a very special episode of the Never Games. First episode in the second season to have a guest, so it was wonderful for Willow to stop by. Be sure to check out Barbarian Girl, Library Comics, or Bookstabber, her podcast. My name has been and will always be Noel McGinnis.
I am Trevor Kelly, at least for now.
My name is Tom O'Brien, as far as you know.
I'm Connor Provost. Good night, sweethearts.
And once again, this has been the Never Games. Do we play games?
Almost.
Yes. Oh man, that's what we chose. This has been a Stickerbox Studios production.
One thing.
You joke, but this is a real conversation Gene and I have had about the secret fourth panel filled with hornets. No, we have an ongoing joke.